G'day there, guitar players. It's Michael here, and welcome to another No BS lesson on learning the fretboard. Now, if you haven't seen my part 1 video on the 3 principles for memorizing the fretboard along with my best exercise, click up there and check that out now before you continue with this one, because we're going to expand upon the knowledge found in that video. So basically, when it comes to memorizing the fretboard, the best exercise you can do is just go sequentially along a single string. For example, the first string would be E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. And what you should do is go along each of those 6 strings saying the notes out loud. But what's going to happen after you've done it a couple of times or a couple of days in a row, it's going to start to become easy. And while that's a good thing because you're memorizing where the notes are, you don't want to develop a bad habit of always starting at 0. So that's why I recommend you start at 12 and you go backwards. E, D, C, B, A, G, F, and E. Now in the previous video I recommended that every time you practice you go 3 times forwards and 3 times backwards. But in this video I'm going to give you 2 additional means of practicing that exercise to break it up, to challenge you to not always start at the beginning and to consolidate your knowledge of the fretboard. This is going to be absolutely fantastic for you. So what you're going to do as your first challenge is what I call the zigzag, where you're going to be skipping a note and coming back to it. For example, so instead of going sequentially, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, you're going to skip thirds. So you're going to go E, skip to G, back to F, skip to A, back to G, skip to B, back to A, skip to C, back to B, skip to D, back to C, skip to E, and you may need to go back to D and then skip over to F, and then come back to E at fret 12 as your resolution point. Let's see that one more time close up. E, G, F, A, G, B, A, C, B, D, C, E, D, F, E. Now that is going to be a lot more difficult than just trying to go through sequentially, but it's causing your brain to do things out of order and out of sequence, which means you'll be able to recall where the notes are and consolidate that information much more effectively. So you can pause this video and take as long as you need to do that exercise on at least string number 1 and potentially all 6 of the strings on your guitar. When you're ready, we'll dive into part number 2. Now the second extension on this exercise is to use the circle of fifths as a sequence for playing through the notes. Now whether you know the circle of fifths or not is irrelevant at this point, we just need to have a cycle to follow. So what we're going to be doing is starting on the F note and going F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. So on any individual string, first I find the F note, then I find the C note, then the G note, then the D note, then the A note, then the E note, and then the B note. And I've used that to find all of the 7 natural notes in sequence. And if I wanted to do the sharps, I would just go through the same order, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, etc. And that's going to cover all 12 of the pitches. So I'm going to play string number 2 for you and find the F, then the C, then the G, then the D, then the A, then the E, then the B, back to the F. So there you go. I still recommend that you play through each string sequentially, 3 times forwards and then 3 times backwards, and you make a daily habit out of that. Just like your times tables. You don't do this for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Go up each string 3 times, back each string 3 times, and before you know it, you'll get a really good solid foundation and memory of where all the notes are on the fretboard. Then you can use these additional exercises, the zigzag exercise and the circle of fifths sequence, to find the notes out of order so you're not always stuck at fret 0 counting up or fret 12 counting backwards. This is all about how many ways you can go from A to Z, or in our instance, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A again on any individual string. Sure, it'll take some practice, and yes, it will get monotonous after a period of time. That's why we're adding these extra challenges in. 1, to further challenge you, but to 2, keep it interesting for you. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. That way I know if I'm on the right track when it comes to creating content for you guys at home. And of course, it's going to help keep you in the loop when it comes to getting more of these videos. The theme for the next month is going to be fretboard memorization. And of course, I'm going to have a course coming out soon, my Total Guitar Player Blueprint, where everything you need as an intermediate and advanced guitar player is mapped out for you in my private database with, of course, weekly sessions to work through, and training with me live in a weekly call. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, check out my Total Guitar Transformation program in the link below. I don't want to ram that down your throat, but for those of you who need the guidance from an expert teacher, those who don't work independently necessarily as well, or again, you've got tons of really great stuff on YouTube, but you can't quite play because you're just getting completely swamped with content, allow me to provide not only some direction, but some guidance and accountability through a combination of an online course you can work through at your own pace, as well as weekly accountability calls. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.